I said so. Stephen A. Smith apologizes again, all right? Let me go to the original comment he made that caused outrage, and we'll show the apology. Here it is.
By Donald Trump's statement weeks ago, talking about how black folks, he's hearing that black folks find him relatable because what he's going through is similar to what black Americans have gone through. He wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures. We've seen that happen throughout society. So no matter what race, what ethnicity you may emanate from, we relate to you when you're suffering like that because we know we have.
It's a damn shame. Stephen A. So let me say this, Stephen A., when you said our iconic leaders, I can only assume you're talking about people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, et cetera. So you have equivocated Donald Trump to the persecution that happened to people like Dr. King? Dr. King stood for righteousness. Donald Trump stands for evil. Dr. King believed in the greater good of humanity. Trump believes in the greater good of himself. Dr. King did not commit a crime against this nation. Donald Trump has committed many. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. A week later, Smith apologized for his comments. Here it is.
A lot of folks in black America seem pretty pissed at me right now, from friends and loved ones to colleagues, contemporaries, and dare I say even the NAACP itself. Quite a few folks were put off, if not flat out offended, after my words were interpreted as associating support for Trump from the black community with all the legal issues he's facing. For that, I sincerely apologize. To be clear, my words were misconstrued. I'm stating right here for the record that my words were taken out of context, misrepresenting and depicting me in a way I found every bit as insulting and disrespectful as folks in black America evidently felt about what they thought I said. But I'll own it anyway.
Man, bring your ass to the bullpen. Please bring your ass to the bullpen, Stephen A. If you please tag Stephen A, troll him, I don't give a damn what you gotta do. Producer, send the official invite out. Stephen A, I'm going to reserve the rest of my commentary to your happy ass jumping this bullpen with me. Because, sir, it is time for you to get a proper education. You have been reckless for far too damn long. So here it is, black voters.
Insofar as Trump gaining support in the black community, well, how about various publications with these headlines? The Chicago Tribune. This time, Trump really does seem to be making black voter inroads. Why? The Washington Post. Voters of color are shifting right. Are Democrats doomed? How about the New York Times? As black voters drift to Trump, Biden's allies say they have work to do. Axios wrote, big Biden bummer. New York Times Siena poll shows gaps with key demographic groups. Wall Street Journal. Biden loses support among black men. The Hill, Biden losing support among black voters in swing states, survey. Al Jazeera, why are black voters backing Donald Trump in record numbers? And CBS News, black voter support for Trump up from 4% to 23%, poll finds. Why did I say all of that? Because I want to show you I didn't just open my mouth. I read, I listened, and I've seen a momentum shift, as we all have.
Stephen A, you did just open your mouth. Obviously, you didn't read the articles, but because you cited them, I took the time to read every single one of them. All of those articles point to the inaction and the non-delivery of the Biden-Harris administration as a collective frustration being shown by black voters, in particular, young black voters in the United States of America. It is not indicative that black voters are somehow in cahoots, congruent to the policy of Trump being arrested. And nothing in these articles suggests what you stated on the record, dear brother, that he is getting support from black people because woe is him, being prosecuted by the criminal justice system. Black folk are saying to Democrats, policy-wise, get it together. It is still a very intellectual dynamic, even if you disagree with it. But you suggested, flat out said, it is because black folk identify with Trump being arrested, which, by the way, most black people in America will never be arrested. Most black folk in America will never have a felony. Most black folk in America will never go to prison. I don't know why you think most black folk in America would identify when most black folk in America don't even have the experience you speak of. Maybe you didn't know that either. I read every single one of those damn articles that you quoted, all of them. And every single one of them points to the inaction of the Democrat. It's a policy dynamic, not a dynamic of Trump being arrested. And then to the outlaw poll that you mentioned at the end, that Trump has over 20%, it was favorability rating rather than would vote for. You have to look at the question of the poll. The poll is not talking about will you go and vote for Donald Trump. The poll was about basic likability, style, etc. Come on, man, get it together, brother. Sharon, thoughts here.
Well, it felt like your last explanation there was an introductory course that you perhaps talked to students about on day one. It's not something that once you get deep into the curriculum. I don't believe that Stephen A. took that, his words were taken out of context at all, because they weren't. You don't go on Hannity, you don't go on Fox if you wish to be accurately represented. That's not what you do. It was lazy. He did seem a little tired, but it was intentional. And it makes me very sad, but also very angry that this force in media has tiptoed over to too much of a caricature. Yeah. This is too much. And it's a representative of self-hatred, or every man for himself, forget about you.
Yeah, and the apology, non-apology. I'm apologizing, but I really didn't do anything wrong, but I will own it. That's not how you apologize to Trump supporters when you offended them. You gave them a real apology, Stephen A. Wow. I think we deserve one too, dear brother. All right.